guys, today we're driving the 2025 Subaru WRX TS. TS stands for Tuned by STI. Oh boy, we're getting so close to an STI, but just no cigar. We don't have the extra power here. This still makes 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. We have a 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer, 6-piston Brembo brakes. That's kind of the highlight here. These blue interior accents, really nicely bolstered Recaro seats. Only comes with a 6-speed manual transmission and as a slick top. This is kind of your track special Subaru WRX. We actually just had this on track earlier this week at Gingerman Raceway. It performed very well all day. Zero brake fade on these Brembos, and Gingerman is an especially difficult track on brakes. So if you're interested, go check out that video. TheTopher and I filmed that together. I'll post a link in the top comment. Otherwise, let's walk you guys around this TS, talk about what it's been like to live with and drive this week. We get the adaptive dampers from the GT model, which are very, very nice, very comfortable in comfort mode and quite stiff in Sport Plus. You can change your drive modes right here between Sport Plus, Individual, Comfort, Normal, and Sport. We're gonna probably mostly just rock Normal or Sport mode today. Handbrake, 6-speed manual on this is fantastic. Love the shift action here. There's your reverse camera. You have this vertical tablet infotainment, which this week has been painfully laggy and slow, a little bit buggy with CarPlay. Honestly, this has been the worst experience I've had thus far with this vertical tablet infotainment from Subaru. Once it warms up, once you kind of let it just hang out for about a minute or so, it gets faster, but that initial startup is just painfully laggy in this screen. That's really my biggest complaint with this car. The tech here it lets you down. It's just not, this isn't where we should be in 2025. This needs to be better. So hopefully Subaru will work on that. You can live with it, but it ain't cute. The rest of this car though, looks pretty good. This WRX TS is painted in Galaxy Purple Pearl, which is a very cool color. When this first showed up in the driveway, I thought this was black, but it is not. Here are those big 6-piston Brembo brakes. Nice drilled rotors there too. Bridgestone S007 tires in, what are these? 245/35 R19s. You can see they wore out a little bit on track, but overall did pretty well. Also, unique 19-inch wheels on this WRX TS. I think they look fantastic. Red WRX badging in the front grille. Same hood scoop. This WRX is looking pretty good now. I especially like these in a darker color. They hide the plastic fenders a little bit. TS badging in the rear. 4 exhaust tips. Nice big, spacious trunk. No spare tire in this one. We just get a fix-a-flat kit, but you do get a jack and some tools, and you could probably fit this with a spare tire kit from Subaru after you take delivery. Look at these Recaros too. These are such sharp seats. The bolstering on them kind of feels similar to my Type R. The only complaint I have is you can't quite get low enough in the driver's seat. It feels like you're sitting a little bit too high. Rear seats get the same treatment as the front, unlike in my Civic Type R. Yeah, lots of nice blue accents back here. Suede inserts. These fold down nicely. Get a Harman Kardon sound system. Lots of nice space in the back of this TS. The front seat is lowered all the way, and I can still fit my feet under here. Bit of faux carbon fiber here, more blue. Couple USB ports. These would probably be heated seats in the GT model. Nice looking interior. There's even an STI engine start stop button. Proper stuff. Come on, Subaru. Just give us a little bit more power, a bit more chassis rigidity, and come out with the STI already. There you are, your 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer. Good power, pretty fuel efficient, more so than the numbers would suggest. You got to rev this car out to have some fun with it and get some power out of it, and I like that. No rev hang, really nice throttle calibration here in all drive modes. This new 2.4 liter FA24 really does drive great. Speaking of which, let's hop in and see what this does on the street. So we get a fully digital gauge cluster here. There are a few different view options. You hold this info button and you can switch to a map view, which gives you your rev counter on the left there. A driving assistance view, which helps you with eyesight. Very cool, kind of looks like Tron. And then you're just regular old STI gauges, which look very, very nice. That's how you make a digital gauge cluster. Make it look exactly like an analog gauge cluster. Visors don't slide, surprisingly. Nice big mirror, but yeah. Huh. Reverse is up and down to the right. Nice wide angle camera there. You've got a climate control menu, physical buttons for temperature, and then constant icons down here. This has dual climate zone, heated seats, which is great. And once the touchscreen wakes up, it's fine. I also turned off the Wi-Fi hotspot in this, and it seems to be a little bit quicker with that off. But yeah, this is better. I had some just terrible moments with this screen this week. Yeah, Subaru just has to do better. They need to update the processing speed, update the software here, kind of just redesign this and make it feel like it is actually from 2024, 2025. This car is actually a 2025 model. Sound system is decent. Interior is spacious. There's a lot of room in this WRX. Pricing on this hasn't been released as of filming this video, but should be in the mid-40s. Kind of slotted in between the GT and the WRX TR. So estimating maybe around $44,000, $45,000. That's Type R money. Quick steering ratio, nice turn in, brake feel. I think that's really the highlight of this car, are those Brembos. They are good brakes. The pads don't have a ton of initial bite, but you can always get that in the aftermarket. But pedal feel is excellent. And that's what I like to see from Subaru. Good throttle response. Savage Geese, how's it going? Let's go into Sport Plus. Suspension will stiffen up. We have an individual mode. You can put steering in comfort, suspension in normal, eyesight in dynamic. Yeah, I like my individual settings. I'll stick with that. No exhaust modifications or anything here. This is still a pretty quiet car to drive. Bit of exhaust drone on cold start for the first few minutes, and then it all kind of settles down. Shifter feels really good, super tight. Throws aren't too long, it's direct, it's accurate. I like the 6-speed manual. It's easy to drive. And as a driver's car, it's satisfying too. Great mechanical grip around here. Pulls all the way to that 6,000 RPM red line. adaptive suspension is quite good. Stiff in sport mode, comfy in comfort, and normal's this nice in-between setting. A little bit more suspension sophistication here with the adaptive dampers than with the static dampers, which I like. Sometimes that's not always the case, but I'm pretty happy with the suspension in this WRX TS. Reasonably quiet on the highway, not too much road noise, even on these performance summer tires, these Bridgestone Potenza S007s. Let's test eyesight here. The system has been great this week. Steering keeps you well centered. You've got a bit of a head up kind of confirmation that the system is engaged right there. You can easily change your following distance. And this is all working with a manual transmission. Love it. A few different gauges down here on the lower left. Boost pressure. Nothing. Fuel economy. Timer. Tire pressure. GPS. Radio. And we've averaged in this 22.6 miles to the gallon with a track day over the last 600 miles. That's pretty darn good, actually. Yeah, the steering here is great. Showing me what's going on around me. Let's switch to that eyesight view. See if it shows us any extra information. Put us in comfort. Suspension softens up a little bit. This is kind of a funny gauge cluster because it gets rid of your tack. We'll put us back there. I just turned off my Wi-Fi hotspot in this WRX, and it seems to be sped up significantly just with basic operation. Before I was waiting about maybe a second to half a second between inputs for it to even register my finger. It was almost unusable earlier this week, and this is actually functioning okay. So I wonder if that's maybe one of the tricks to get this to work a little bit quicker, is to disable your Wi-Fi hotspot. All right, Sport Plus. Increased throttle response, stiffer suspension, heavier steering. Ooh, that is hefty. We'll go into individual mode. And we'll go normal suspension. Clawing away for traction there. No rev matching here. You got to do it all yourself. Pedals are beautifully positioned for heel-toe downshifts. Red line is a pretty hard cut. I always find the WRX really enjoyable as a daily. It's just a satisfying enthusiast car to drive. Does everything well. It's easy to drive smoothly. You can put an aftermarket exhaust on this. It'll sound better. something that Subaru really got right with this WRX that they've struggled with a lot in the past, especially WRXs of old, STIs, even the BRZ, is the throttle tuning. Whenever you change drive modes, this screen comes up, and then it should go away automatically. And then you have to go back into CarPlay again after that. That's not good. Steering gets super heavy in Sport Plus. Honestly, individual mode is kind of the way to go here. I'm glad Subaru gives us that option. You can even turn cruise control on with traction off. That's pretty unique. Not a lot of cars let you do that. There's a dynamic eyesight mode to boot, which I assume is a bit more spirited in its calibration. Who knows? Steering not engaged there. There we are. Alright, so how does this WRX stack up in the lineup? If you could swing the extra money, these Brembos are awesome. Is it worth 10 grand over the base WRX? I don't know. This mostly drives about the same. I still would put a different set of pads on here. These pads do not have a lot of bite. The brake feel is amazing, and the hardware is amazing, and they hold up on track beautifully, which you can't really say about a lot of cars, period. The Type R brakes do well on track. The GR Corolla brakes do okay. BRZ, forget about it. A few hot laps and you're running into fade very quickly. So props to Subaru for putting a proper set of brakes on this and giving them enough cooling. But the bite leaves a little bit to be desired. And the standard brakes on the WRX leave a lot to be desired. This fills that void. This makes a big improvement there. But I would still like more bite. Suspension's fantastic. I think this looks great. Love this interior. This infotainment is still a letdown. It just doesn't perform the way it should for a vehicle today. Still, you can live with it. You can put up with it. It's quirky. It's kind of annoying. But at least everything is laid out simply. CarPlay works for the most part. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. Depends on how the car feels. Power here feels good, but of course, wouldn't mind a little bit more. This isn't a very torquey engine. But it is fun to drive. And mechanical grip is fantastic. Are you really gaining a lot over the base WRX for low 30s, for around 32, 33 grand? Yes and no. They drive about the same. There is a lot more feature content here, and it does look and feel a little bit more special. Add in the brakes, which are not cheap, the seats, which also are not cheap, and you're getting your money's worth. The all-wheel drive system here is fantastic. You're going to have a great time in the winter in the snow. A lot of confidence in the rain. And one of the few cars with a manual transmission today that doesn't have any rev hang. I appreciate that Subaru is still giving us manuals, and good manuals to drive. accurately bang off every upshift and downshift in a car. And it's fun, and it's engaging. What else can you ask for? I like the little STI engine start-stop button. Honestly, normal mode is kind of my favorite drive mode. Steering, suspension, throttle response all feel about right. Though when I start this up, it does default to sport mode, so I have to change that. One of those cars I just want to keep driving. Alright guys, there's a quick drive in the 2025 Subaru WRX TS. If by the time I post this, Subaru releases pricing and fuel economy numbers, I will update the description. But until then, I can assume that we're going to probably average around the same fuel economy as we have in the past, and this is going to be kind of slotting in between the TR and the GT. So we'll go based on those assumptions and see where we end up. Fun car. Liked spending time in it this week. Could do with a full-blown STI at this point. It's just so close, though. We're so close. We see it on the cage cluster. We see it right here. We see it in the seats and the interior trimming. Honestly, in some ways, I actually prefer this over STIs that I've driven in the past. It's just a very, very nice package. Let's walk you around it one more time, and that'll be a wrap. For now, it's just good to see a proper set of brakes on the WRX. I mean, look at that. You need a 19-inch wheel to fit those in there. It's not just for bling, not just for style. Actually, has some function to the form. Shot of the rear calipers too. These are big brakes. Bleeder valves right there too. Good hardware. This does make a good sound. At lower speeds you can hear it a lot better because there isn't the tire and wind noise, but aftermarket exhaust would do this car some favors. Nice NSX. Don't see a lot of those. There's even a little bit of torque in 6th at 1800 RPM. Watch this. Not bad. Not bad at all. Should we do a quick sound system test with this Harman Kardon? We've done it before. Do get a physical volume and control knob. Eyesight's doing great, even on this back road too. Sound system is good, powerful, clear. Let's do a quick 60 to 0 brake test here. Yeah, feels good. Alright, that's all I've got to say about the WRX TS for now. Thank you so much for watching. That's going to be a wrap for this one. We'll see you guys later. Take care.